Hello, my name is Marie Krakowski, and I'm going to be a medical doctor one day. I'm from Alpharetta, Georgia, and I did my undergraduate degree in Atlanta at Georgia Tech, and I studied neuroscience. And while I don't quite want to be a neurologist, I've always been so interested in human behavior and child development, which leads me to why I want to become a pediatrician. In my gap year, I'm involved in two different roles. On the clinical side of things, I am a medical scribe at my local emergency department. And in this role, I've learned incredible things about the role of the physician. Because I scribe for the physician, aka I chart for the physician, as we go to patients' room to hear their present concerns, their symptoms, their story, and while the physician also does his or her their physical exam, I take note of everything the physician does because one, got to make sure the physician gets paid for that job, but two, I learn an immense amount of the job of the physician. Coming into the role, I knew the physician would, listen to heart and lungs and hear the patient out. But I didn't quite respect the amount of consultation that went into the role and how much went in just to make sure that a patient had to get their aortic dissection figured out. Who knew that a helicopter had to come to pick them up and transport them? There's been so much that a physician has to do that I didn't quite respect beforehand, but I'm really lucky that I can respect it now. My second role in my gap year is working as a teacher and tutor in my local neighborhood. And while this doesn't sound clinical, it really plays into my interest in children. The virtual environment provided such a hard hurdle for a lot of young kids. I actually teach a lot of different kids concepts in my neighborhood. And principally, I work with Ryan. Ryan's a 4-year-old that isn't in preschool right now, but he's already counting to 10 plus 10. It's incredible. In the months that we've worked together, I've really seen his interest in school grow. And I love that role of mine. And that kind of leads to my bigger picture and goals in medicine. While I really want to be a pediatrician, there for children and critical emotional and physical development, I also want to teach them important life lessons and ensure their development is in the correct, incredible trajectory. And I want to take a quick pause to address my role in undergrad as a resident assistant. More specifically, I worked as an RA for first-year students. These students were coming to college for the first time, and they were going through really tough troubles, whether it was sexual assault, roommate disagreements, homesickness, social anxiety. And I realized my passion of helping my residents navigate through this vulnerability. I programmed events that encouraged social and emotional well-being, whether that was facilitating a trip to Atlanta's Ponce City Market, bringing together male and female residents on my hall for a spa night, or organizing the ultimate throwback de-stress event leading up to finals week. I also use my position to educate my residents, such as leading an alcohol safety event with Georgia Tech PD and a Black History education event honoring the 80th birthday of Atlanta Congressman John Lewis. Being an RA, it put me in the position of being at the front line of my students' well-being, whether it was physical, emotional, or mental. And that's why I only furthered my desire to be a pediatrician. I want to be there from diapers to diplomas. I want to help them make sure that they're in their best emotional and physical state, and that I facilitate and navigate through that ambiguity and through that really critical development. Quite honestly, it's really hard to say where exactly I want to be, but I know something for sure. I want to start somewhere small to get to somewhere huge. I want to start with the little humans, ensure that their critical development is being aided and supported. Beyond in the appointment itself, I plan to advocate in my community for smoking cessation programs, safe bike lanes and pedestrian safety, and also educational access. But I want to expand my impact beyond just my community. For example, in Georgia Tech, I realized the inadequate educational resources and infrastructure in the greater Atlanta area. I definitely plan to be involved and use my physician role to be an advocate in the greater Atlanta community. And maybe I'll even go global. I'd love to go back to Vietnam, where I went in the summer of my second year, and check up with my patients and ensure that they are doing great with their hygiene and health. At the end of the day, I want to make sure our US healthcare system and the children and the people in it are healthier and happier. And I really believe that starts small on the preventative health measure. Make sure that they are the best versions of themselves then and now to ensure a more beautiful future. I am so excited for the future ahead, but I'm really worried about how I will get there financially. With my mother unemployed, my father struggling as a musician during this quarantine period, and me not getting a whole lot out of either role due to the financial constraints of COVID. I'm so thankful for this opportunity, and I hope I get considered. Thank you.